Good afternoon, EXJW family. Actually, it's actually turning to be evening. This is the Oracle coming in for another one of my vlogs on my life as an ex-Jehovah Witness and just my thoughts, feelings, and growth as a person. What I am very concerned about, and I actually did a video, I think 2 videos ago, about the current events that are going on with the ex-Jehovah Witnesses, with Jehovah Witnesses right now. And I think it's really interesting because I was commenting to my husband the other day that no matter what happens with the Supreme Court, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, and what happens with the child abuse allegations and the court cases, is that the way that this cult is set up is that they have been able to use either judgment to validate their beliefs. It's very sinister. So he was saying, well, how does that work? I'm like, so, as long as I've been affiliated with this organization, and for those of you who this is your first video, I was born into this religion. When I was born, I was a 3rd generation Jehovah Witness. And I'm one of the few people in my entire family on both sides that walked away from this organization. I was the very first in my family to adamantly reject the teaching, and I did that when I was 17 years old. At the time that I left, there was no such thing as an ex-Jehovah Witness community. There wasn't any support for people that were going through some of the things that I went through. And I did do a video of all of the abuse that I suffered. And I think that's why what's happening with court cases today resonates with me, because I was molested by my grandfather when I was young. And when I was listening to what this elder had done in the latest court case, where the former elder, and I think he was a service overseer and was in charge of circuit activities, he fondled and molested so many young people in the Kingdom Hall. And I think what resonated for me is that when I listened to my account, and it took a lot for me to actually sit down and sort of detail all of the years of violence and abuse that I suffered as a female in the organization. But the main point was that I really didn't have any support. I didn't have any avenues in the organization. And it's really interesting when I'm hearing these stories that I see the same thing going on. But getting back to the question that my husband had asked, and trying to understand why either side, whatever happens, it still kind of fulfills a judgment or fulfills a prophecy in this organization. So what they have done is, anytime there is a court case that validates or supports a position that Jehovah Witnesses have, they will say that it's from God, that it's Jehovah. The Watchtower and Tract Society has done things with the religion, and court cases have sided with them. So this signifies that they are a true religion. And all of the court cases that they have lost, they have it's apocalyptic belief system. The main fabric of this organization is persecution. So anytime that they lose a court case, or the Supreme Court doesn't side with them, this is a foreshadowing of things to come, that the government is turning on them, and they've forecasted that. So again, they always find a way. They always find a way to use whatever's happened as a way to justify the existence of a cult, and existence in today's climate of abuses. And that's why I wanted to kind of just have a conversation about it, because I really think that it's important to pay attention to the Supreme Court denying their appeal. And so what the Jehovah Witness organization, or should I say the Watchtower, Tract, and Bible Society, there are so many arms of this organization. It's mind-boggling. I've been affiliated and I've been aware of this organization for decades, and I'm still learning things about it. And I think that the rank and file members have no idea just how much this organization is involved in so many things that they claim not to be. But the point I'm trying to make is that this organization is using different places, different groups to justify what they're doing today and supporting them. And so when you look at what's happening in current events, and you're looking at what has happened in terms of court cases, you're going to see that there are a lot of instances where the Jehovah Witness organization has been hiding a lot of things from the public, and they have been doing so at the cost of harming their members. So this Supreme Court case that was saying that they should give access to all of the allegations of child sexual abuse, that they should turn those over to the authorities so that the authorities can validate if these allegations are accurate. They wanted to, and this is why I find it very difficult for me to understand how people that are in this organization are supporting this. Because if this was a Catholic Church that refused to turn over the cases of a priest supposedly molesting a child, the Jehovah Witnesses, I know for a fact, even when there have been convictions and the Catholic Church has been willing to turn over things, they use it as a judgment. This is a religious organization that says that it protects children, it protects people that have been molested, that have been raped, that have been, just sexually assaulted. And it really doesn't, because even after they've lost cases, they refuse to turn over all of the information that they have collected in databases. They won't turn it over. So I think it's really important to note that the Supreme Court refused to hear their argument. It denied it. And that is a serious loss for the Jehovah Witnesses, because what that does is that allows other courts to use this as a precedent so that they can go after this organization. And they can fine this organization millions of dollars if it sees fit. And they will not be able to go to the Supreme Court and ask them to overturn something, because the Supreme Court has decided that they will not hear these cases. And again, this is an organization that's supposed to be for its members, but it does not want to turn over allegations of child abuse and sexual abuse. Not only do they not want to do it, they're willing to pay people in their legal department to go to the Supreme Court to fight against it. If this organization was really about children and about sexual abuse and the victims of sexual abuse, wouldn't they just hand that over? Why would they be going to the Supreme Court to refuse it? It's absolutely insane. And the case that I wanted to talk about, because I don't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to kind of get this off my mind. When I saw that this former elder have been sentenced to life in prison. I think I was watching it on John Cedars, and I remember I made a comment that, you know, even hearing this case just really annoys me, because they had to testify in court. So all the stuff that the Jehovah's Witnesses or the governing body says on JW.org is a lie. They are lying to the public. They are lying to their members, because when they went to court, when the members had to testify, the elders had to testify, when kids went in, when young people went in, and they told the elders about this other elder that was molesting them. Number one, they didn't believe them. They told them, you need a second witness, and they never called the authorities. So all this stuff that the organization is saying that they do not do. They not only do they not do it, they put the onus on the victim. This is disgusting to me. This is a human rights violation. And if you watch one of my videos, I go through all of the human rights violations of this organization. But the one that bothers me the most is how it doesn't seem like they're even sorry for the child abuse that goes on. And when it happens, they try to separate the organization from it, and they try to blame it on a member that was messed up. But if the organization had gone out and they had even turned over one allegation of child sexual abuse to the authorities, there would not be 20 plus people that have been affected by this elder. And that's literally, I just had to get it out, because this organization is so tainted. And the transcripts are there. The court cases are there. There are about 2 or 3 videos by very popular ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that have talked about these court cases. And there is no way that a Jehovah's Witness can sit there and justify this type of behavior. How can you sit here and support an organization when a child and their parents come in and tell the elders that they believe that someone in the organization has molested their child because he has some high profile position? They don't do anything about it. They put the onus on the child. They say, well, you need to have another witness to this, or we're not going to do anything. So how many people went and complained about this elder to who they're supposed to trust in, and nothing was done? He was still going around molesting people. They never went to the authorities. They never even put 2 and 2 together that 3 and 4 people are complaining about the same thing that has to do with child sexual molestation. One of the elders that sat there when this one child and parent came in and was telling them, no, there's no way that this man could have done this. His own son was so severely sexually molested by this elder that my understanding is he's suicidal. He's gonna need lifelong therapy. This is what's going on in the Jehovah's Witness organization. And as I said before, children and women are not protected in this organization. They're not. And there's no way that this organization is of God if so many children are being violated. And that was my point for this particular video. As I said, I didn't have a lot of time, but I did want to sit down and just talk about what's going on today. We need to pay attention. We need to advocate for children. I will continue this discussion, but I wish you to have a blessed day, and I will talk with you soon. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much.